We're standing in the middle of where our pond is going to go.
So 11 feet in diameter, 4 feet deep.
Pond installation day! Woo!
The first step in the Grow Dome pond construction is the fabrication of the actual tank. The tank of the pond is made of 22 gauge galvanized steel sheets, 2 8-footers and 2 10-footers. Probably the most time-consuming part of the entire process was the marking and drilling of the holes on 4 different sheets of metal. So it's 2 different sides on each sheet, so 8 total strips of holes that we had to drill. The sheets are very unwieldy to work with. There's no good way to grip them, especially the 10-footers. Those were the worst. They're very bendy in the middle, so they're hard to carry. They get very hot in the sun, and the edges are kind of sharp, so you got to watch out for them. Luckily, I had a helper. My dad was visiting to help the job go quickly, he has many years of experience wielding a drill. There are 24 holes per side of each sheet, and that had to be measured, marked, punched, and then drilled. And they had to be pretty perfect because then you have to line them up when you're putting them together. So I think we went through a couple of drill bits that day, for sure. After the holes were made, each sheet had to be primed and painted black. This helps to maximize the radiation gain from the sun, which is, as the primary purpose of the pond inside the greenhouse is to serve as a thermal mass, absorbing heat during the hot day and then slowly radiating the heat overnight on the cooler days. But even when moving 10-foot painted floppy steel sheets, we made it work. We had plenty of 2x4s to help use as drying racks after we painted the floppy steel sheets. When it comes to installation of the tank, the first piece of steel sheets get fastened to the foundation of the dome by way of a 2x4 bracing boards.
So after double checking where the center of the pond is, we put a stake in there, and then it was my turn to help carry these wild steel sheets into the Grow Dome. And yeah, they were difficult to manage, especially when you're short, very floppy and hard to hold on to. But we got all the sheets in and started the fastening process, which was basically just lining up the holes and then adding in the bolts and nuts to secure the seams. And we tighten those as we go with a wrench. But 4 big sheets of steel, you know what? It turned out pretty round and pretty happy with it. So Brian's getting everything as level as possible before the next step, which is adding sand to the inside of the tank. Once the sand is all leveled out, then we'll add the pond liner, and that will form the rest of the pool. This is the hard part. What do these weigh?
50 pounds.
50 pounds, okay. Hey, go, are you helping? This goes on the inside and the outside, right?
Inside.
Inside? Okay, I thought it kind of
Some of it'll spill over.
spill over. Okay. All right, 5 done, 15 to go.
Heavier with some water in them.
You're leaving a trail. All right, so here's some interesting data. Since when I sprayed down the dirt with water, it rose the humidity up to 58%, and the temperature dropped down to 79. Now we're at 23% indoor humidity with the temperature rising to 88. So when this thing is filled with water, it's going to make a huge difference just keeping the temperature down in here and the humidity pretty stable, because otherwise it drops down to baseline. Colorado at our location is 16% humidity, which is pretty dry. It's a big sandbox. And so now you got your little screed thingy there. You're gonna try to level it. It's getting smoother, it's getting smoother. All right, pretty smooth job there. All right, there it is, the big pond liner. Massive, Chris. Careful. Slicey dices. So the pond liners can be cut and fitted or just like one big square shape. But fortunately, ours was cut round and you can see the seams where it fits pretty tightly. Some models you'll have a lot more extra material, but ours looked like it was fitting pretty good, which is good. Okay, almost forgot a step, which is to put some duct tape over these screw heads. I mean, they're not sharp or anything, but it's just another layer to help things glide.
Yeah.
Rubber liner and the tapes.
And I think they put some over the edge here too.
Yeah, over the edge. So you put a little duct tape along the edges there, on the top of the metal. Just to look at that little boy in a swimming pool, no water yet. All right, so liner in one more piece, which is putting the trim piece on the top.
Right.
And it's just looks like a couple pieces here. Very nice. Very nice job. Okay. Oh my gosh, how are you getting out of there? You got a ladder in there with you? Okay, you put it on some cardboard though. Okay, good. Now do we get to fill it with water?
Yes.
Ah! We got the hose hooked, the water line hooked up last night. Yeah. So we made the decision to run the water line directly to the house, and that required a separate line because we have a water softener. We wanted to bypass that. So Brian's putting in some new copper fittings and a new line directly dedicated to the greenhouse. So a little bit of welding here, and ultimately just capping off the PEX tubing that's on the inner side, that's in the outer shed, and voila. Looks like we got running water in the greenhouse now. Okay, here it is, the water moment. Guess we should.
Right.
Just air. I thought you hooked it up to water.
Yeah, a long way to go.
Ah! We have water in the greenhouse.
Much water.
Woo! Wow! Yay! All right, that's going to help with our humidity. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, there it goes. It's going to take a while.
It's gonna take a week.
A week?
At least. Well, you don't want to do too much every day.
Right. Conserve with our well, since we're doing well water. What? Cold water?
Ice cold water.
Ice cold. Yeah, it is ice cold. Okay, well, here's the pond all filled up.
Yeah, and remember, it's a foot underground, so
Yep.
there's a lot of water in there.
There's a lot of water. It's like 2,000, close to 2,000 gallons, I think.
I think it's almost 2,500.
Oh, 2,500. Okay. Significant. So water temperature, probably 60. Thermometer says 94 degrees and 16% humidity, which I'm kind of surprised by. I thought that the pond would make it a little bit more humid than just our average humidity,
Yeah.
which is always 16% around here, but
Yeah. Probably once we get the plants and everything, it'll be
okay.
a lot more humid.
Yeah, so a little bit more vegetation for some more respiration, and maybe when the pond comes to temperature more, there'll be a little bit more evaporation and we'll have a little bit more humidity overall. But yeah, still kind of dry in here, and our biggest thermal mass still is the dirt floor. So to cool things off, I'll usually just kind of spray everything down, and that usually drops the temperature by 10 degrees and kind of boosts the humidity, 5-6%. It makes it a lot easier to work in here, that's for sure. Cause
Yeah.
I know looking at the next step is garden beds, and it's hard to be in here working because you definitely get hot easy.
Yeah, was it 101 earlier?
It was 106 when I walked in here earlier at peak of the day.
Yeah.
And it's our hottest weather. It really is super hot this week.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think we need to go take a break and cool off a little bit.
I think so.
All right.
Some ice water or something.
Let's go back into the house, take a quick break, and we'll be right back and show you guys the next step. I'm not gonna miss walking up this hill 10 times a day.
No, it's hot.
Whew.
It's a scorcher today.
All right, first order is mugs, cups, agua,
Agua.
ice.
guy's damn ice maker's still broken.
Ah, you know what? I got a little something yesterday. I think it's going to fix that problem.
Sweet.
It is the Viver countertop ice maker.
All right, what do we got in here?
Oh, you can scoop your own ice.
Look at that bad boy. Oh, you want some?
Fill me up. So this thing makes ice cubes in just 6 to 8 minutes and up to 45 pounds of ice per day. Probably way more ice than we'll ever need. Unless Brian drinks all the lemonade again.
No promises.
The water reservoir holds up to 2 liters of water, and it comes with its own ice basket and scoop. You can have 2 different sizes of ice cubes, and this model makes bullet ice. Yeah, it has a lot of cool functions on it.
Most importantly, it works.
You need ice in the summertime, guys. All right, well, I guess we're ready to get back to the next step.
What is the next step?
Well, now that I'm cooled off, thanks to Viver, and by the way, check out the video description. There will be a link in there so you can get one of your own if you want. But I think the next step is adding some plants to the pond.
Plants to the pond. All right.
What?
Look what's in there?
Hey, we're getting started right here with some water lettuce, folks.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
ready? Dumping it in.
Oh, just dump it?
Hey, let there be life.
Get them all situated here.
Nice.
Cool.
It's like little floating lily pads. Phew, well, big project done. Can't believe it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of parts, but nothing too complicated.
I think the hardest thing was just picking up the things.
So there's more steps to the pond. We just introduced our very first plant, but I've gotten to order a couple other styles of plants and also fish. So we will have a little bit of an ecosystem in here. The goal is to cover it to create nutrients, help with evaporation, and help overgrowth of algae. You're going to have a little bit of algae, but we don't want the whole thing covered in algae, so pond plants definitely help with that. But Brian's got a vision for doing something over the pond, because it does take up quite a bit of space in the dome, and to compensate for that space.
Right, so we want to have more hangout space. Right, so we've got tons of ceiling height here. So if we built a deck maybe 6 feet high, it'll still give us access under the deck. Make it out of logs, and then put like a fountain in the middle that comes up and then cascades down. So
Yes.
just sit around up there and have this big giant water feature.
Yeah, it'll be cool. So yeah, really whimsical, and we're going to let our creativity just unleash inside this dome. All kinds of crazy ideas of how to design it. But first things first, we got the pond in, got the water in, we got our first plants, and well, maybe next week the fish. So thanks for joining, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Time to go for a swim.
So cool.
It's so cold,
It's so
but it's so
nice.
hot out.